Hello, everyone, and welcome to Newly Forged. I hope you're all doing well this evening. Hey, I've got it. Thank you for the Pikachus. First of all, big shout out to, I don't know how to pronounce this username, Eki Shocker, ECE Shocker, whoever you are. Shocker, thanks for the follow. They followed us 4 days ago. Isn't that nice?
Nice,
Oh,
super nice.
Yeah. Uh, we should have Matt this evening. I think he might be a little delayed due to travel because he was returning from Europe today. So he's either passed out asleep with serious jet lag and his alarm didn't go off, or he's still traversing the world. Hopefully, he pops in fairly soon here. He did say he was going to be here. So, find out. Uh, Amber and Sarah are unavailable. They are off dealing with other things today. uh, so we've got two glorious people. We've got Matt and Tanner. But first, welcome to Newly Forged, everybody. We are a 5e actual play stream, playing Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition with a little bit of homebrew. And we play in the homebrew world of Newly, which came out of my brain. And 5 of my friends are very brave to play in. Uh, pardon me. So, the two of you that are here, hello. One of you needs to roll a d20 for me.
You got this. 12.
All right, here we go. So, both of you, please introduce yourself, your characters, and... Jeez, sorry. I still have a little late night cough thing. Introduce yourselves, your characters, and please tell us, how far does your character believe they would go to achieve their most cherished goal? And how far would they really go? Would they go as far as they think, or would they go even farther? Let's start with Mike.
Interesting. Hey, I'm Mike. I play Defect, Warforged Arcanaton. And I
I
feel
think you
like...
mean Arcanaton Barbarian.
Right. Sorry, I missed that
that
other word. Warforged Arcanaton Barbarian. And to answer that question, his goal, he doesn't really have a goal other than to follow Greg. Best friends till the end. So I think in that regards, Defect will follow Greg to the ends of the earth.
in all the things.
Mm-hmm. So that's my answer. Wherever Greg goes, whatever Greg's goals are, Defect will be there.
Aw, that's cool. That's very sweet. Gonna patty off a Grig. I dig it. And let's hop on down and say hi to Tanner.
Hi, I'm Tanner. I'm playing Nereus, the ASMR sorcerer. And goals. Nereus is just trying to find out more about his heritage, and in doing so, has found out about a plot by very bad people, and so probably at this point he did die. So just keep fighting till he can't for trying to save everything again, or from being destroyed again.
Okay, cool. So he's gonna push it to the limit, go as far as
Mm-hmm.
possible, willing to
See
do
what
it
that
all.
limit is.
All right, very cool. And my name is Jared. I play everyone and everything else that is not the 5 PCs. And that's our quick little duo intro. Hopefully we get a map soon. But in the event we don't, we'll see how this evening progresses here. This is episode 94, by the way. So that's fun and exciting.
That's the year I was born.
I'm playing with a child. Wait, that didn't sound right. I am.
Anyways, moving on.
Bad time to take a drink, Jared. Anyway, we are gonna do some D&D, I guess. So let's get into it and talk about. Oh, hey, you watching us now on Twitch. Thank you. We hope you're following. And hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, because you don't have time to watch us live, then make sure you subscribe to our little YouTube channel icon bell thing. Thanks. Now, let's dive into last time on Nuuli Forged. Last time on Nuuli Forged, the warlord Valruga barged into the courtyard immediately after the battle the party had with Bodo and his minions. Seeing the 5 dead bodies, Valruga demanded an explanation. Unsatisfied with the party's inability to prove self-defense, since they had killed all their attackers, the warlord passed summary judgment upon the group. He found them guilty of murder and moved in with his chamberlains to attacks. And their true natures, perhaps not a surprise to the players, but certainly to the characters, they were all vampires. The warlord's attacks hit hard, seemed to cause problems with healing magics, and Spoot was able to turn 2 of the chamberlains, Bella and Vogel, and cause them to flee the battle, leaving only Valruga and the chamberlain Bregor to face the party. Nevertheless, that was enough. Throughout the melee, the warlord tore through Olive's elemental form, Olive's own form, and the form of a giant ape with his attacks, beyond felling Defect multiple times before he decided to get serious. The warlord killed Defect right in front of the group and Greg, and yet the battle raged on with the party slowly working their way through the warlord, but their resources were dwindling. Spoot blasted Valruga with a divine combo, using Guiding Bolt in his spiritual weapon, which gave Greg just enough help to unleash a firebolt that burned the mighty vampire lord to mist, which promptly dissolved and escaped, or floated away. Greg quickly used a diamond to revivify Defect, bringing him back from the brink, while Nereus scrawled out a teleportation circle, with Olive grabbing Bodo's body, and Spoot grabbing the gauntlet that fell to the ground when the warlord turned to mist. The party quickly gathered, and as Nereus activated the teleportation circle, the other vampires, no longer turned by Spoot, came within sight. Lightning flashed, the vampires reached for Nereus and the others. The portal activated, and our heroes disappeared, leaving behind their adversaries and their sprite companion, Paduk. And so, we now pick up in a small chamber. All of you, the lightning has flashed. Nereus guided you. You all felt like your insides were pulling outwards for a moment. But in a loud thunderclap, you appear in a small room. And then you realize it's not so much a room as it is a ruin of a room. The walls are cracked and chipped and faded. The floor is surprisingly clean, but is very worn and ancient, and you can tell there are cracks throughout the stone, except for this central pillar about 10 feet wide. The central stone here is a solid piece of a much harder substance, or perhaps protected in some way. And looking down, you see a circle of runes inscribed. Nereus, you know that you have brought you and your companions to the small town of Seoul. More specifically, a set of ruins outside of Seoul that you have some passing familiarity with. As you look around at one another, Olive's fairly strong form carrying Bodo, which shouldn't be a problem, looks like she's straining with it. And she quickly walks around to the side of the wall and deposits the body and looks as though she's having a rough time with it.
Still carrying Bodo better than I would.
All of you have taken damage or been injured in some way. Mechanically, some of you have had your maximum hit points reduced, and some of you have had your strength modifiers reduced, or your strength scores reduced. Greg is clutching onto Defect's leg at the moment. And Spoot begins looking around, interested in their surroundings. Defect, you have only just recently returned to life in the last minute.
What was the afterlife like?
It happened very quickly for you. You had a sense of displacement and disembodiment, and it felt like you had a decision to make, but that's the most you can remember.
Kind of disappointing. So there was like no Arcanaton heaven?
You don't know.
No. Okay.
You don't know. You know that Spoot has a deity, so maybe a discussion with him about it might prove useful. Or maybe you can do your own research if this is something you want to keep more to yourself.
Okay.
Nereus, as you look around, you are confident that you've brought us to the right place. The room looks familiar. But you see that gauntlet in Spoot's hand. You see Bodo's corpse over on the one side of the room. And you're not sure what time of day it is here, because there's no windows, there's no outside anything. This is an interior room of a ruined building. But you made quite an entrance, and in doing so, there are feet that you can hear running in your direction. And before too much time passes, you all breathe in, pardon me, a strong sigh, and you see an individual poke his head around the corner. He appears to be a human male, maybe, fairly thin, but he pokes his head around and says, "Oh, who are you? What are you doing here?"
I'm oh, Jesus, sorry. I'm Nereus.
Nereus.
I stopped by a bit ago.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. My assistant told me that you were, that you had copied the circle. I'm pleased to know it still works. You're the first person we've seen actually use it.
It certainly worked, well enough.
Oh? Were you in some sort of dire straits?
You could say
Defect
that.
coughs up some blood.
Oh my,
You have blood?
your Your
blood
golem
tap.
is bleeding.
He's
Oozing.
an Akhenaton. Um,
I'm
eh,
sorry.
it's all good. We're all a bit worse for wear. What time is it?
Oh, it's a little after sundown. I was just cleaning up my notes for the day to go home. And I heard a very loud crash.
Yeah, sorry about that. We had to make a bit of a emergency escape, but
Hmm.
we can head outside and just set up camp if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, no, not at all. Please, by all means. Right this way. Perhaps you should all head into town with me. You seem a bit worse for wear. We can see about getting you set up somewhere comfortable.
Town would be nice. How far is it?
Oh, it's only about a 20-minute walk or so.
Okay.
There's a small group of us. Nobody walks alone, but, you know. Please, and he looks over. He steps into the doorway during this conversation. And you can see that he is indeed a human male. He's very thin. And he's just very like studious Indiana Jones. Like, he doesn't look as rakish or as action ready as like an Indiana Jones would. But imagine like a librarian wearing Indiana Jones, or a librarian's attempt to be Indiana Jones. That's kind of what this guy looks like.
Like 1930s Egyptologist.
Very much so. Yeah. That's a good way to go through it. Yes. My name is Caleb. Caleb Grandy. I'm the head researcher here of the Sun Ruins. My assistant met with you earlier, Nereus, when you were here some months back.
Okay. Yeah, the circle kind of reacted to me a bit last time I was here. A good thing I took time to memorize that sequence.
Oh, if it saved your life, then most indubitably. Now, I didn't know you had lost another companion. And he indicates Bodo's body.
We were in quite dire straits.
Well, my deepest condolences. But very well. Gather up your things. Do you require an extra sheet? I'm sure we have something for your friend over there, indicating that the body.
We should be fine. We're gonna try to bring him back later after we've got some magic back.
Of course, that's amazing. But still, walking around town just carrying a corpse in such a manner would be potentially disturbing.
That's fair. We could take a sheet then.
Excellent. Just a moment. And he comes back with a much younger assistant who helps Olive wrap up the body of Bodo in a little sheet and kind of put a couple bindings on it. Very well. Shall we away?
Yes, please.
Excellent. And as you begin trudging out, you meet up with about 5 or 6 other individuals and then head into the town of Sewell. It's still it's about an hour after sunset, so it's still kind of twilighty. It's not too dark yet. But it is nice. It is warm. It is not raining. It is not oppressive or gloomy in any way. It's quite warm. And the sky is clear, and you can see stars and the two moons of Nuuli just kind of floating there, undisturbed.
We are a bit further, just a tidbit further south.
Yes, indeed you are. You have traveled many hundreds, if not thousands, of miles in but a brief moment, which is very impressive. So you head back and you come to Sewell, which you've all been to Sewell before, but just as a reminder, it is a small kind of beach fishing village town. Very like off-season Cape Cod kind of vibe to it. People are sitting on porches in this early fall that has now come to the area. Waving, enjoying the last bit of warmth before the cold snaps in. People take note of you as you pass. One by one, people start peeling off to go to their respective homes and dwellings. When a human woman, tall, muscular, long blonde hair, kind of comes up to you all. What's going on here, Callum? Oh, Bernice, please. Bernice Hardback, this is Nereus, his companions, I suppose. They arrived at the Sun Ruins just a few minutes ago, really. And so we're bringing them into town. They've lost a friend in whatever dire circumstance they were previously in not too long back. I see. Well, I'm sorry for your loss. Do you have any place to go in town?
No. We
No.
were originally gonna just camp outside the ruins.
Well, if you don't have any friends to stay with, then you should head on over towards the Sunny Tankard. They should probably have at least a couple of rooms available.
That would be great. Thank you. Which way is it?
It's right that way, and she kind of points down in the direction of the beach. Oh no.
Yeah, my camera froze. Thank you. We can, we'll head over there. Defect? Sound good?
Very much. I need to rest.
Very good. And she kind of nods to you all and watches as you go. And as you leave, you notice that she's got like a shield on her back and a longsword on her hip. Like, she's probably like the town fighter or something. Like, who knows? But there we go. He's back. So you head on over to the Sunny Tankard. You find a small, kind of long, little one-story tall tavern that seems to have like a very ruckus room on one side. Like, it seems like that's the main tavern area. And then there's like a longer, like an annex to the building, which maybe that's where the rooms are. But you enter in, and there's a few people in here, like having a good time, having drinks. You see behind the bar, you see a human man in his 30s, pretty tall, weathered skin, Short, dark hair with like a gray streaked goatee, big smile, talking to a red-skinned tiefling that looks fairly young, in well-fitting clothes, long black hair. His horns kind of sweep back over his head. This tiefling is familiar to all of you, actually. You recognize Parch. Parch was the assistant to Professor Theginald Harper for Defect and the others who began in Sewell. Parch is also the tiefling Nereus who you heard telling stories the last time you were in Sewell.
Okay.
But as you enter, a few heads turn, including Parch, and he's like, a big smile crosses his face. Sorry. A big smile crosses his face. I don't know what's going on. And he's like, oh, Nereus, hello again. And, it was Defect, the talking construct, and Greg, of course, the goblin, and Spoot, the turtle. Spoot, yes. I remember you all. Nereus, you've joined up with them. Although I'm sorry I don't recognize you. As he motions to Olive. Where's your other friend? Carolee? Kaylee?
Has it been that long, huh?
Yes.
That's all you.
Yeah, I know. Defect rolls. Again, he's still hurt, I guess. I'm at only 1 hit point, right?
Yeah.
So really hurting, walking all bent up and coughing, oozing blood and sap and whatnot. He's like, Carolee's dead. This is Olive, Parch, Olive. We need a room.
I'm sorry to hear that. Right. Hey, Herbert, do you have a room for my friends here? He looks over at the bartender. The bartender's, oh yeah, of course we do. We've got 3 rooms available at the moment. How many do you want?
I'll take all 3.
Oh, great. It's 3 silver a night for the room. But yeah.
Nereus will just, Crick, come here. Hold on. Hold still. And just, kind of reach into the bag. And take out the silver.
Okay. Go ahead and just track that. Yeah, no problem. He leads you down a hallway to 3 rooms. It is down the little annex. It seems like the annex is literally a hallway with 3 rooms, 2 on either side of the hallway. One of the rooms faces the beach. The tavern is apparently on a small cliff, and the beach is about 15 or so feet down the cliff. The other side just faces the town, so you can.
Nereus is gonna storm into the room that faces the beach and close the door.
Okay. Very well. If you need food or if I can get you anything else, you do seem to be in various rough states.
We just need about an hour, and then we'll be down for food.
Several hours.
Very well. By all means, the hearth is open for the kitchen's open for another couple of hours, and there's usually something stewing on the mantle. on the hearth overnight if you need something more. But yeah, very good. Let me know if I can be anything. Just ask for me. My name's Herbert, or my wife Lom is around here as well.
Wom.
Lom, Lom.
Oh, Lom. Okay.
Yep. Can't miss her. Beautiful, short little half elf. Blonde tresses. She's quite adorable. But I'll leave you to your rest. Do feel better. And he kind of goes back down the hallway towards the bar and Parch. Nereus, you have entered a room. It's a small room, but it does have a nice little like veranda that you can go out and like look down the beach at if you are so inclined.
Well, first it's going to be a prestidigitation party. Can't be bloody and dirty.
Fair enough. There is like a wash basin with water, but it's not like a tub or anything.
Okay.
And that's true in like all the rooms. There's like a, one of those big ewers with like the pitcher and you splash yourself. Like that's the kind of deal we got going on here. But the beds each room has 2 beds and they are comfy and clean. If not like the highest quality, but they're good.
So I assume the normal sleeping arrangement of Spooked Olive, Defect Grig, and Princess Nereus in the single suite.
Yes.
After Nereus gets all cleaned up, he's gonna go over to the room with Spoot and Olive and the body.
Yep.
And kind of like, Nereus will wait like an hour for like Defect and Grig to kind of clean up a little bit. Knock on the doors. Let's go look at the stuff. I want to see what Bodo was wearing. And go over to Spoot's room.
Sure. So you can apply a short rest. Spend hit dice if you want. But yeah, you head on over. Bodo is still wrapped up. The gauntlet is just sitting on the top of a like flat chest that comes with the room. It's just sitting there. And looking at it for the first time, you see that it's like intricately well made. It's made of like polished black metal and gold with a little bit of like red gold. Delicately articulated fingers. It's very thin, so it's probably not like full like plate mail, but it is still like a thin drawn plate. And is definitely strong because you saw Valruga like tear through all
punching the crap out of all of us.
Yeah, like it's not weak by any means. And it's got a pretty large like purple or indigo gemstone set on the back of the hand.
Spoot, would you mind just taking a look at that gauntlet, and then Grig and I will just take a look at Bodo, because I know he had like the crown and stuff like that. So, because I know Grig would want to look at those as well, but I'll roll the checks.
Yeah, go ahead. Make a investigation check with advantage to peruse Bodo's body.
I'm wearing my glasses and I still can't see.
No.
Oh, it's not. That's weird. All right, hold on. I don't know why the D&D Beyond didn't connect.
Well, no, I've been having some weird computer things the last couple of days, so who knows.
So that's an 18.
Excellent. Yeah, you immediately find the crown. It's right there on the top of his head. Pardon me.
there we go. It's working now.
Yeah, you immediately find the crown. It is made of like interwoven bands of like 4 different metals, or at least it's got 4 different colors like weaving through it. Looks like gold, silver, iron, and a 4th metal that you're not really sure what it is, but it's like a deep greeny, grayish looking metal. It's weird. And it's got these 2 protrusions that like they on Bodo they looked like they were like digging into like his temples. But like you take the crown off and there's no like wounds or anything. It seems like it's just an affectation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, and there's like some kind of gemstone set in the center of it. You also find a small belt pouch that contains 20 platinum pieces and
Love that.
and 120 silver pieces.
120 sil. Oh, okay, keyboard. 120 silver and 20 platinum.
Correct.
Okay.
Let's see. Anything else on the Bodo that would be of interest to you?
They said that like he took Fluxus's ring, so I don't know if there's any rings or.
You find like a couple of rings on him, but nothing too crazy. Like there's no gemstones on them. They just seem like he's got a couple of gold rings he wears.
Take those 2.
Sure. Yeah, you can write 2 gold rings. And let's see what else. What else would he have on him? You find a couple of spell components, which you can identify at a later date. There's
anything that I would, because of magic, I know anything that looks somewhat familiar, or would I just know their spell components?
You know it's like a bag containing like a few things. There's like a small diamond, a pinch of diamond dust, and various other things like that. It's like very small material component type stuff.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that is all you find on Bodo.
Does he have a spell book?
If he does, it is not with him.
Damn. The wizards had to carry that crap with them. Alright. Well, it doesn't look like there's anything else on the body. Strange.
Oh, actually, no. He would have a spell book with him.
Oh,
He didn't have it at dinner, but he did have it when he went to get you.
gotcha. Well, Spoot, if you don't mind taking some time to look at this gauntlet and crown, that would be great.
Spook kind of nods. Yeah. Spoot, which one do you want to know first?
Well, he has the gauntlet while we're looking through Bodo, so I'd imagine the gauntlet first.
All right, cool. Then, yeah. He replies that it is a very nasty thing. And you can all now look at this here gauntlet.
Ooh.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, let's show our friends here. Yeah, this is the gauntlet. And you can go ahead, Nereus. Why don't you read what this item is?
Wondrous item, artifact. The gauntlet is fashioned from gauntlets of Valruga. The gauntlet is fashioned from dark steel and has an indigo crystal shard mounted on the back of the hand. While you are attuned to this, you gain the following benefits. You gain a +1 to your unarmed attacks and damage rolls. Draining hit. When you hit with a melee attack, if the target is a creature, it must make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw, or take an additional 1d4 necrotic damage, and cannot regain hit points until the start of your next turn. You gain half this many hit points rounded down. That'd be dope on my monk.
Yeah, learning what this thing does, you realize that this is probably why his attacks hurt so much and why you couldn't heal people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was this thing.
Defect, do you punch things a lot?
I don't have my axe with me, but I always have my axe with me. So, no, not really.
We can hold on to it, make sure. Well, I mean, we're gonna hold on to it, but like, maybe do find some other use for it later. I don't punch things with my -1 strength.
There. Cool. So Spoot takes some time and hands over the crown, explaining what the crown is.
Ooh.
Which you can see looks like this. And you can go ahead and read what that does as well.
Mike, do you want to read it?
Sure. This crown is made of interwoven bands of 4 different metals: gold, silver, iron, and adamantine. Adamantine. Parts of the crown appear to be made to press against the wearer's temples. When you attune to this crown, as long as you are wearing it, you may use it to concentrate on 2 spells for up to 1 minute. Nice. You may use this ability once per long rest. The second spell requiring concentration is held by the crown, and you must make concentration checks as normal, 1 for each spell. If you lose concentration on the spell held by the crown, the ability is considered spent regardless of how long it held the spell. If you have already used the ability of the crown, you may choose to suffer a level of exhaustion to use its ability again. You may only do this once per long rest.
Yep.
Wait, so like,
That is the crown of concentration. Of concentration.
so every turn you have to make a concentration check, even if you don't take damage?
No, you make a concentration check as normal.
Oh, okay. So it's just when you take. I thought that was like once per round you have to make the check. So if you don't take damage, you're fine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But if you take damage, you make 2 concentration checks.
Right. Cute. I mean, we'll fight about that one later. Although, can Olive wear metal? Or is that just armor that they can't wear?
So this is the thing
I think just-
with druids. They are not like forbidden from wearing metal. Like they can. They just generally prefer not to.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which is more like a lore thing than anything else.
Okay. I mean, I could have a lot of fun with that crown.
And then there's the matter of proficiencies. So
Right. Well, that's fun. I'm gonna go down and get some dinner. Do you want to come, Defect, or are you just gonna hang here with Greg?
Defect is going to sleep some more. He's, I don't know, beat up, and he wants to just take time to think about his recent experience and try to make sense of it.
cool. Defect and Grig return to their room. Olive and Spoot rewrap Bodo.
I mean, I would say we just yeet him into the astral plane.
When the wielder of that item is here, they can choose to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
I was just gonna say I would like to go down to eat, but also like I would take a look through Bodo's spell book and see what all he has.
Cool. Go ahead and make an intelligence check as you thumb through the book.
Intelligence. I was looking at my skill list. Jesus, I can't D&D tonight.
Or it could be an Arcana check.
Oh, can I do Arcana?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just add 4 to that, so 17.
Cool. So thumbing through it, you're confident that this is a spell book, but it doesn't really make much sense to you.
Okay. Like can I read the spells that I know? Or just because, like, since I get my magic from my blood, I have a hard time understanding it?
Well, so every wizard writes their spell book in their own code that they can use.
Gotcha.
Wizards are trained to, like, decipher these codes and break these ciphers. But with a 17, you can see that most of the spells in here are not something you necessarily know.
That I don't what?
That you don't necessarily know what they are.
Oh, okay.
But there are a couple that look familiar-ish. At least you think so. Like there's a few drawings that are like, oh, that's kind of looks like my tattoos, I guess, kind of.
All right. Well, that's all I can get from that. I'll just hand it, like, walk past the, like, after I finish eating, just kind of like walk past the room again, past Grig's room, and hand them the spell book.
Cool. Yeah, they are asleep.
Oh, okay.
But while you are eating, Parch does come over to your table and asks if he can join you.
Sure.
Oh, thanks. That's nice. You all look pretty beat up. Or what happened? If you don't mind me asking.
Have you ever heard of Bartaria?
Bacteria, island nation, northeastern coast?
Yeah, like kind of way up past the Embering Elms.
Yes.
We got into a bit of a disagreement with the ruler.
Oh.
Didn't really see eye to eye on a couple of things.
I assume this is about more than policy.
Yes.
Okay.
Although his policy was part of the disagreement.
Well, what happened? How'd you get in his face about anything? First of all, you don't just walk up to the ruler of an entire nation.
Well, no, we were invited to dinner, but then he had some other guests who decided to pick a fight with us, but we defended ourselves. And then said ruler came into the area, saw that we had defended ourselves against the people pretty well, if you know what I mean, and didn't really care to hear the story, just started trying to beat the shit out of us.
Well,
And so we kind of incapacitated him and bolted.
well, at least you're a long way away.
Yeah. Hopefully that's enough.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you again, Nereus.
Oh, thanks. It's good to be back again. It's a bit calmer here, and the sound of the ocean is always nice.
Yeah, I like it. It's a nice little town. I've been busy with the professor, of course.
How's that going?
Good. We've been acquiring quite a bit of information lately. People delving into various ruins. Caleb over at the Sun Ruins, which I guess is where you came in, if you teleported. He's been making some good headways. And of course, every so often somebody finds something in the beach caves.
That's fun. Not really one for knowing what to do with all archaeology. Digging is archaeology a thing? Digging up the past.
Well, I like to think there's a lot that can be learned from the past. And there's certainly a lot that we have forgotten and lost. So if we can find some of it, maybe we'll be better off.
Oh, for sure. I mean, by what I said, I just meant that it's not really my forte.
Oh, well, I can't, sail a ship, so.
It's true. We also, when we were in the Embering Elms, found out that it was once a temple to the Oaken Father.
Oh, fascinating.
Dragon attacked it and tried to steal a gem, and then it got hit by a spell storm, and then caused the entire place to be constantly on fire.
Really? You'll have to tell me more about this. And he starts asking you questions, and you can tell him all about the...
Yeah, and then I'll do like the same thing I did before with the minor illusion, just to kind of like show things, paint a picture.
Yeah, very cool.
Show Defect hitting a dragon as a giant ape. Just like King Kong style.
Nice. So you relate this story. Parch seems fascinated by it. Well, I'm glad you're doing well. And I'm glad you met up and found these this little band. We're kind of proud of them, the professor and I, because we put them together originally,
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was I wonder where he is. You see, a couple years back, pardon me, the professor and I found a man down in one of the caverns in the beach caves, but frozen in like a purple sphere or bubble or something. Eventually, the bubble kind of just popped on its own, and that's how we met Adis. And he stayed here for a while, and we kind of helped him out.
He's I think they said he's back in Fey Harbor.
Fay Harbor, really? Well, that's good. Maybe I'll try to contact him. I guess he got a little tired of running around. But we hired him and Defect and Grig and Spoot and another woman named Carely to obtain an item for the Seekers, and they were successful in that, and they just kind of kept going, and we get reports about them, and so we're kind of proud that they've been making a name for themselves.
I'm certainly capable of doing that. Good or bad.
Oh, have you been through a lot with them already?
I mean, a fair amount. I bumped into Spoot on the way to the Embering Elms. Actually
Oh.
tripped over him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then we decided to walk together, and then I met them on the edge of the forest, and then we fought that dragon. And then we went back to the city of Winton
Hmm.
and dealt with a bunch of other stuff. And then we went up to Bataria and then dealt with the warlord. And then we're back here and got to figure out where we're going next.
Hmm. So you might be here for a while.
No idea. I know one of the places that they were talking about was the swamps. Gotta go search for something there. And then Spoot said something about Soul Mount.
Oh, Soul Mountain. Yeah.
There's supposed to be some, like,
Opposite
guardian.
directions, but yeah.
Well, yeah. That's right, so we gotta figure it out.
Oh. Well, that's fascinating. I mean, I'd love for you to spend some time in town.
I mean, we've been through a bit the past 24 hours, so we might need a day or two to recoup.
Yeah, of course. If you want to swing by, I'm still at the professor's, of course, but you're more than welcome to come by for to say hello.
I could go for a walk. Not tonight. I'm fucking tired.
Oh, of course. No, I didn't mean, I mean, I mean, you look good, but you look like you've been through it.
Oh, I did die.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
You died? When?
Against something bit me very hard.
And you came back?
Spoot's quite an accomplished caster.
Wow, that is amazing.
I'm assuming he grew a bit since you last saw him. In that case,
If he can return the dead to life, that's incredible. Not many people can do that.
oh, I mean, I figured it was a strong spell, but I can't do it. I'm mostly destructive.
Well, there's a need for that too.
Well, it came in handy against the dragon, and I'm good at turning Defect into a monkey.
I'm sure that's impressive too.
Yeah, but it's been nice talking. I'm gonna go turn in.
Of course. Have a pleasant evening. Hope to see you again.
You as well.
And he gets up and wishes you well. Yeah, and he gets up, and you can go and turn in.
I'll as I walk past the room and Greg is sleeping, I just kind of chuck the book onto their bed.
Sure. Great. So you all get a long rest. Everyone who has had their hit point maximum reduced. After a long rest, those effects go away, and your maximum hit points return.
Nice.
However, those of you who've had your strength score diminished, that effect remains.
Oh no. Defect, what are those noodle arms?
Well, I don't think
That did not happen to me. No.
it did not have a defect. It affected mainly Olive and Spoot.
Yeah. Oh, right.
So
Defect just got
That's
the
fine.
shit punched out of him multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Repeatedly.
So they both are still looking a little haggard and weak this morning, and not very talkative. While Greg is squirreling away somewhere, working on something. But you can awaken. Breakfast. There's porridge and like a breakfast fish dish.
Breakfast fish dish.
Yeah, it's a breakfast fish dish. Which I know that there are many cultures that have such things, but I can't think of one off the top of my brain. So, you know.
I would never eat fish for breakfast. It's not.
No, actually, we did it in Poland when I went to visit my family.
There is
my
nothing
family there.
wrong with it. Like, it's a perfectly good thing to have.
I mean, I don't eat breakfast as is.
Well, fair, neither do I, but still.
I just can't imagine it. The fish is such a dinner food to me. But Defect, what are you doing today?
Is there anything on the docket today?
Kill some people, burn the town down.
Doesn't seem like us. I mean, well, I guess it depends on who the people are.
No, I just I figure everybody needs a little bit more time to rest, and then we can decide where we're going.
The two of you who are here, when you wake up, you feel like there's something different about you. Go ahead and reload your character sheets.
Oh, Jesus.
Did we level up again?
And go to your features and traits and check out the feats section.
Features and traits. Feats.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting. For
Go
those of you at home, I have Heart of the Poet. I excel at all things poetical.
If you
Not
click
my words.
if you click on it, it will give you the actual full description.
There it is. Okay. Your interest in poetry has granted you a certain flair for the art form. When you compose, perform, or study poetry, you may make any relevant skill check as though you have proficiency in that skill. If you already have proficiency in that skill, you may add it again as though you had expertise.
Yeah, it seems that standing up and reciting your own poem and the poetry jam was quite the thing.
Watch out, Shakespeare. Writing plays and whatnot. Very soon.
Sonnets
One man
by
show a
Defect.
defect.
The next one will be Midsummer Night Duck.
Much a duck about nothing.
MacDuck.
MacDuck, of course.
Duck or not to duck?
Always duck.
I have Ear of the Storm. You have identified a celestial entity that is friendly towards you. Once per day, you may attempt to learn its secret or bit of information from that entity. The entity is not all-knowing, but it does have an long and extensive memory. Roll a d20 plus your charisma. On a result of 15 or higher, the entity answers you, and the DM determines if this entity knows of anything of use to you. If you use this feature during a natural storm, you have advantage.
Yep.
That's fun.
Yep. So you two have gained a special thing, much like Spoot had long ago gained his Know the Path feature. Or Know
Just
the
gonna
Truth
look
feature.
towards the sky. Dad?
You swear you hear thunder somewhere in the distance, but there's not a cloud in the sky.
Are you my father? It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. So you all have a bit of a breakfast. You feel a little hyped up in a variety of ways. And there are, people coming and going. You do see Herbert, and he is talking with a half-elven woman who looks to be a little bit older than he does. But you assume that to be his wife, Lom. There's a couple other people around. What would you like to do in this sunny tankard?
I honestly don't know. I'm not used to downtime in a very small town.
Yes, same. Ready for like the next task.
Yeah, I don't. I didn't plan for downtime, so I don't really have anything to do.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. You don't have to be like, oh, I want to do these things, but Sewell is not a vast metropolis. It is a small fishing beach town kind of deal, like a fishing village. You do hear people talking about how a couple folks have left recently and gone up to Mandarian.
Where's that?
Mandarian is a burgeoning potential city that is being built on the northern point of Triangle Bay, not too far from Sewell, actually. A couple of days.
Oh, a couple of days. I was like, ooh, road trip, day trip.
Yeah, it's probably 2 to 3 days.
What about by flight?
Could be quicker. Depending on how fast of a fly speed you have.
The Eagles fly fast.
They do.
Defect, you want to go on a trip?
Yeah, nothing better to do.
I'll just ask one of the residents to point me in the direction of Mandarian.
Yeah, it's pretty much just north along the coastline.
Okay. Ready, Defect?
Just the two of us, huh?
For now. I figured just a little city trip.
Two young bachelors hitting up the city.
Sure. Paint the town red.
I'll do it like that. Let us commence and go forward.
Alright, I'm gonna turn Defect into a burb.
Alright, Defect, you become
The giant
eagle.
And I guess I will just pick up Nereus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
What was I gonna do? Walk there?
That was fine. So flying all day, the Eagle can get you there by the end of the day, I think is fair to say.
Okay. I mean, I have enough spell slots to be able to do that. Between burning sorcery points and everything.
Yeah, because it lasts for
An hour.
an hour.
I mean, it's at 4th level, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 7 without burning sorcery points.
Okay. So then, yeah. You might have to burn like a couple sorcery points towards the end. Because it would probably take a full like 8 hours of flying.
Yeah. But I have enough to burn to be able to get like a full 8 hours.
Yeah, you can do that. So you do that. And you can see below you in the distance as you come up towards the last hour here. The sun is low on the horizon. You spent most of the day flying. And you see what is obviously a city structure like in the early stages of development. Massive walls have been constructed some distance out from the central location where a tall spire is being erected. It seems to be made of metal, or at least highly polished to look that way. There's a couple other like larger buildings, and then many smaller structures kind of gathered together. The interesting thing about the city is it is split in half, or well, 3 parts actually. There is, well, no, it would be in half. The very northern tip of Triangle Bay, where you are currently, or where the city resides, is also the mouth of the Divide River, which is the massive river that splits the continent of Johanna in half. And here, the current is pretty quick, but it slows down once it hits the bay. The current, or the width of the river here is, you've seen it before, Defect, and it was a couple miles across. Here, it's much smaller. It's probably only about like 5,000 feet across, which is still a big fucking river.
Mm-hmm.
I forget how many feet are in a mile.
5,280.
So it's almost a mile across here. And there are a series of, it seems like pylons being constructed, or that have been constructed and set in the mouth bed. And like a bridge has been built. It's not super wide, but it seems like additional pylons are being built further up to make the bridge wider over time. Yes, must construct additional pylons.
The pain that causes me.
Yeah. But indeed, you have arrived at this city, which is, it is obviously not done, and seems like it's been planned, like an expansion is continually planned for here. But there are work crews that are finishing up their end of day tasks as you enter the city. There are people milling about. There are people trying to like sell you stuff. You're like, hey, first time in town, I got a place for you to go. Very much the kind of like movers and shakers you would find at this sort of city. But yeah, you have arrived in Mandarian. What are you looking for in this city of building?
So compared to Winton is far more put together. Like
So Winton is built on like pre-existing ruins that have been co-opted and like cobbled together, and people just kind of built around that. So Winton is a much like tighter city, like it feels more close in.
Mm-hmm.
Here, the buildings, while still like close to one another, feel like it's much more thought out and planned.
Mm-hmm.
Like Winton just kind of happened, but Mendarian is a city that is being thought about as it's being constructed.
Gotcha. But like,
And it's only been having been constructed for about 10 years or so.
okay. But is it like how city is it so far compared to like Winton, where Winton you can find a bunch of things?
Yeah,
Is it
towards the more
as developed?
yeah,
Is what I'm
towards the
trying to.
central areas, it's more developed. Like the outside edges are like there's still farmland within the walls and there's still like
Okay.
residential within the walls. But beyond that, towards the center of the city, the closer to the river, is more defined and built up, and cobbled streets or stone walkways. Jesus. So towards the center of the city, there's more like shops and dealers and that kind of stuff. The entire city is still like being built, but there are like stores. The people live here, so
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if it was like how metropolitan is that a word? It is yet metropolitan.
yeah, yeah. It's like it is young, like it's burgeoning that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like a new city vibe to it.
Okay.
It probably won't have like everything, but it'll
Mhm.
have a lot of stuff.
Okay, I'll work with that. Um. Well, shall we go? Actually, can I listen around to see if there's anybody who is like advertising um anything like sites or stuff, or is it not that kind of town yet?
It's not quite like a tourist stop yet. Like it is.
Okay.
It is very much like if you want to, you can just make an investigation check to see if you can get like a vibe.
Okay. Did it roll? No.
Bum, 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 bum,
4.
bum. With a 4, there's a lot of people moving quickly and going, and you can't quite overhear any particular conversation. People are
Okay.
walking fast here. They're gay walking, so
Okay.
they got
Gotta go.
They got places to go, Pla-
Even,
pl-
but
places
we'll
to be
still be
seen.
late to everything. um.
That's why they walk fast, because they leave late.
Defect, shall we maybe head towards the center of town? It looked a bit more developed from the skyline.
Yes. Yeah, let's attend. Let's go.
Yeah. So you head towards the center of town, and the buildings are taller, more stone, less timber, and more planned. That spire is probably a good 5 or 6 stories tall, so it's fairly easy to see. And it's centered around what appears to be like a keep that has been constructed with like additional wall around it. Looks-
Around the tower?
Yeah, or yeah, like the spire is part of a keep.
Okay.
And there's a wall around the keep. Looking at it, somebody important probably lives there,
Mm-hmm.
or at least somebody rich,
Or both.
or both.
Do we see like any sort of like shops or anything along the way?
Yeah, there's all kinds of stores that are open at the moment. What are you looking for?
Defect, is there anything you're looking for in particular? Do you need a new poetry book?
No. No.
You don't want a new book.
No. No.
You know, you really
But
should stop. You should branch out. There's tons of other great books out there. You don't need to keep rereading the same book.
He pulls out the one book that he's been carrying with him and is like, well, no, this book is still fine. And like
No,
a single
no.
page
We're
just
gonna
like
go get-
falls off.
We're gonna get you a new book. Come on. And I'm gonna like grab Defect's hand and start trying to drag him towards like a bookshop.
Cool. Yeah, make an investigation check. Great. Yeah, you find a little bookshop. It's simply called Herc's Books. Inside, you find a orcish man with like long hair that kind of like that is like coming down his back and over his shoulders. Not really well styled. It seems like he just never got around to getting it cut. More so than it like being a look that he's going for.
I can feel that.
But he like says, "Oh, welcome to Herc's Books. I'm Herc. What kind of books can I help you with?"
My friend here really likes poetry and ducks.
Oh, this is a person. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were like a construct. My apologies. Are you
Get that all the time.
Are you like trapped in there, or is this who you are? I'm sorry. That's probably a rude question. Forget I asked.
Part of me wants to mess with them. Be like,
Nereus will just start like knocking on the wood. You know, I've always been curious. Kind of like.
That was probably a rude of me to ask. You're a person. I'm sorry. Poetry. What kind of poetry are you looking for? Are you looking for like metaphor, simile, epic poetry? Do you like dark brooding stuff, light flowery language? What's your vibe? What's your style?
Defect's listening to everything that he's listing off, and when he mentions the dark brooding stuff, it makes Defect think about him dying in the last battle, and he's like, "Death. I want poetry on death."
Oh. Okay.
He's been going through a bit of internal conflict lately.
It's my goth face coming out.
The eyeliner.
Well, I think I have something that should be good. And so he pulls out a black and silver bound book. I mean, it's just painted silver. It's not like actual silver. But he pulls it out. This is a book of eulogies for the goddess of death. It's borderline religious, but it's very moving, and the images are at once dark and comforting. If that's something you'd be interested in.
Defect will take the book and skimming through it really quick, stopping out one poem. Random poem. How does it affect me? Am I feeling it? Is it lame? Is it? Does it hit me with the feels about life and death? And
go ahead, roll the d20.
6.
Cool. Cool. So, this poem seems to be a poem about grief. And it's called, this poem is called How Those of Us Who Remain Thrive. And there's a few lines that hit you particularly hard. The opening line is particularly interesting. If we are fortunate, we are given a warning. If not, there is only the sudden horror, the wrench of being torn apart, of being reminded that nothing is permanent. And it goes on, continuing to talk about like losing those we love into a dark ravine. And then it kind of flips on itself. So we must cherish them without reservation now, today. It talks about embracing the inevitability of separation and losing one another through death. So taking the time to focus on the now and not letting your connections and relationships just sit by, like to really cherish them and to live in those moments. And how towards the end, whether it is good or bad or time or planned or not, we all survive that bit of grief, that pit of despair. And like a flower opening after the storm, you slowly begin to remember the one they lost in a different way. You remember only the good and not the sadness at their passing, but you remember their laughter, their heart, their spirit. And at the end of the poem, it's, we cry. We will always cry. But we will cry not in sadness, but in a hopeless longing and a loving reflection. And that is how we thrive and survive. So however that poem hits Defect, it's up to you.
Defect closes the book after skimming that poem, goes, it's okay. Okay. Do you have anything darker?
Darker. Maybe. Let's see. And he takes the book away and pulls out a much slimmer copy of another book. This one is just like old black. It doesn't even look like leather so much as something else. And it's just got like a red painted like tombstone on the cover or some form of grave marker.
You said maybe it's something else. Is like, what is Necronomicon?
Who knows? But it doesn't look like regular leather, so that's weird. And it's just this is a book of. It's called literally Dark Poetry, and it's by DTK. I don't know who DTK is, but that's how they sign all of their work.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll be the judge of how dark it is. Now, take the book, open it, and what's a random poem I fall upon?
Roll a D10.
Ooh, a D10 this time.
With a 6.
8.
Yeah, it's a short poem, and it's written in a scrawled hand in red ink. Hopefully it's ink. And it's called A Flag of Blood.
Mm-hmm.
The blood of men filled the lands, for they stood and bled for honor and respect. They held the flags. They died in the grass. So few could shed a tear at last. That's it. That's the poem.
Okay. I'm going to keep both.
You would like both. Very good. That will be 1 gold for both.
Perhaps a discount if I offer this book to you and I give him my old ratty book of poetry.
No, I'm not a book trader. I'm a seller.
It's valuable.
Make a deception
Take a
check.
look at it.
Good lord.
Come on. Big money. Deception. All right.
Mama needs a new pair of shoes. Oh!
As you hold up this book that you bought in Red Sand,
Yeah, like a little dime store.
that has been with you through all your adventures, all the weather
Yep.
you faced, underwater,
Yep.
through a burning forest against a fire dragon,
Oh, yeah. Yep.
through the sand of
Up
the
in
arena,
mountains. Yep.
frozen mountains, rainy, swampy, or rainy, muddy Barteria. The cover is torn and stained. The pages are frayed. Herc looks at you. No, thank you. I'll just take the gold for the 2 books you want.
Defect shrugs. He goes, "You're lost, my friend. You're lost." And hand him the 1 gold piece.
He takes it and gives you the 2 books. So you
Value effort.
so you can add those 2 books to your inventory.
Oh lord.
Let's see. I'm sorry. What were the titles of those books?
So
Do you have one?
the first one is just elegies and poetry of. It's just called Elegies and Poetry. Just make a note that it is about the. It is like referencing the god of death in a variety of ways, or the goddess of death. The second one is just called Dark Death.
So edgy. I love it.
Yeah, Dark Death Poems. That one is by DTK. The initials. Although it is weird, the initials are like capital D, little t, capital K. But that's how they are signed.
I'm going to ask the guy. Do we know what the initials stand for?
Oh, I have no idea. They've never made themselves known beyond this. They're not popular. They're very niche. I only have the 1 copy, and now it's yours. So,
Is it someone local to this town?
no, I picked it up from a distributor along the way. I was intrigued. Sometimes small volumes are self-published. This one may have been, but it's hard to tell. It certainly does not look magically produced.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Oh, thank you.
people have only been printing books again for about 30 years or so. So,
I was curious if you had any books on locations throughout Johanna.
yeah, sure. Just a moment. And he brings you over to a place and comes back with a book. It's a pretty hefty book. It looks like an atlas.
In
Or like one of those like travel books.
Okay.
Yeah.
And these contain like the histories of the area, or at least known histories.
To a degree, yes. It's not very in depth, mind you. But this IVS got it is very prolific. Seems like they've been around.
Okay. Yeah. How much for this book?
That book is 7 silver.
All right. I have that, I think. How do I game? Okay. I'll give him a gold.
Oh. He returns 3 silver to you.
Thank you. And do you have anything about known gods at all?
Gnomish deities. Ooh.
No, known gods.
Oh, you're just the pantheon? Like a primer or history or
Maybe, or like ones related to the weather.
Weather gods. I can check. Just a moment. And he kind of goes and like rifles through some things. I thought I might have had something, but I don't have any weather deities. Sorry about that.
No worries. Do you know of anywhere that might?
Well, I don't know about books necessarily, but there's a temple of the Stormbringer.
The Stormbringer?
Oh, yeah, pretty well known god.
Okay. Be interesting. I could, maybe I'll go ask there. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you might know him by another name, the Tempest Lord.
Do I know that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the, like, deity that is... It is the god of challenge and storms, competition.
Okay. Alright,
Like, it's essentially Cord.
okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, if you look on the Nuuli Pantheon handout, it'll say the name. Oh.
Okay. Get that later. Alright.
Yep.
Thank you. I appreciate your help.
Of course. If you ever need books again, come on by and see what I have in stock.
Of course. We'll definitely come by if we find ourselves in the need of any books.
Oh, great. Well, have a great evening.
Thank you. You as well.
And you exit the shop. As you exit the shop, you head into the crowd of people, places, things. It gets a little bit overwhelming, so you kind of pull off to one side to just kind of get your bearings, catch your breath. And that is when, Defect, you hear behind you. Oh, I never forget a face. I remember you from when I came here. Where's your charming friend? Uh,
I turn around, and who do I see?
you see a tall, thin, cloaked figure with a like hood and a mask and gleaming golden eyes and very pale skin wrapped in leathers and like big ring arm around the leather armor. Unnaturally thin. Looking at this individual, I'd like you to make a history check for me, Defect.
15. Actually, not bad.
You recognize this individual. You only saw them once,
Uh,
and they were not aggressive. You remember the first time Adis touched a stone that he said had a mark on it,
Oh,
and
no.
an explosion occurred, and two figures popped out of this weird portal.
God damn.
Fuck.
A tall one and a short one, and this tall one is now in front of you. And as you look at him and this memory comes back to you, we're going to take a short little break.
What?
Yep. So we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. We'll take a little short rest, and we will be back to see what this is all about after
Oof.
that. So we'll be right back. Thanks, everybody, for sticking with us and being here on a wacky night. Hello, everyone. We are back. Thanks for sticking around and hanging out with us while we took a little bio break there. I was in desperate need of some hydro.
To cough more.
So I can cough more, yes. So, where we left off, Defect has turned around and identified a figure who he has seen but once before. A figure who was pulled, summoned, forced through a portal by Adis way back months ago.
I know you.
You know him?
Yeah, before you, we had a friend who. What's the best way to describe this? He would just go around touching rocks. And some rocks would do this weird magic stuff. And well, there's only one of him now, but there's two of him that came out of one rock.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a not a long story. It's a short story. Where's your friend?
I asked you first, I believe.
Well, she settled down and is living a great life now somewhere.
I don't suppose
Love.
you tell me
C'est
where.
la vie.
Oh, well, that's nice. I don't suppose you tell me where.
Well, he and his husband were just going to travel a bit, so I don't know his current whereabouts.
Make a deception check.
Do you only want me to say, roll a deception check? Because you know that's not true.
Yes.
Why can't I just say it?
Because you have to make a deception check. That's how the game works.
13.
Great. Well, I suppose if they're traveling, there's not much I can do about it.
To do about what?
To see him. If he's traveling, I can't find him to see him.
Right, but why would you want to see him?
Were you friends with him?
He brought
I
me
don't know.
here. He
Well,
brought
you've yet
me
to
here so he could bring me back.
Oh. You don't like it here?
I didn't say that.
Gotcha. I'm Nereus. What's your name?
Call me Eben.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Eben.
You too, Nereus.
Where's your friend, Eben?
He's around somewhere, I'm sure.
What have you been up to these past few months?
Traveling, learning. It's very different
Yeah?
here.
How so?
When I arrived, I did not speak this language. I had to learn it.
Congratulations. You seem to have done a good job.
Why, thank you. I traveled many places.
Where would you call home?
Far away.
Ah, yes. Aren't we all from somewhere far away?
I was ripped from my home. I
That's
was
unfortunate.
hoping your friend could get me back. I had things going on there.
Insight check.
Go for it.
Oh,
18.
nice.
Whatever those things are, Probably nefarious.
Yeah, I was gonna like that was my like I want to know if he's saying this stuff with like a sense of malice, like
He does not seem to be
or
threatening you in any way. Like, you don't get a sense that he wants to inflict bodily harm.
hmm
I can understand how being taken away from your plans can be a bit disruptive to them.
Yes. And time is different here.
Ah, well, I mean, maybe if you informed us of where you're from, we could possibly assist with you returning.
If I have to tell you, then you can't get me there.
I
it
don't
doesn't
know.
make sense
I'm
at all.
fairly skilled with the magical arts myself.
Do you traverse plains?
Oh, not yet. Maybe someday.
But not today, which is all that matters.
Fair. But there's many strong people, at least we've encountered thus far, that might be able to help you somewhere.
That's why I wanted the one with the golden eye.
Ah. Well, I know there's we met a very skilled wizard in Winton. He could possibly help you.
Hmm. Perhaps in time I will go there too.
He did some extra dimensional looking things.
Mm-hmm.
And he seemed fairly knowledgeable, so he might be able to help.
Perhaps I will go there too. But if you can't help me, and your friend is not here, I have things to attend. I do hope your friend visits Mandarian on his trip and travels. I would like to see him again and meet his husband.
Oh, we could pass
Perhaps we
along the
can.
message.
Perhaps I can find a way to pass on a message. Then we can all meet again.
The message is I would like to see him.
Yeah, no, I got that.
Engineer.
And where should we find you? If he were to come here.
In Mandarian,
Yeah, well, I imagine it's a
Avon.
big city.
Abon will find you.
Fair enough. Well,
And
It's-
you get the sense that even behind the mask, he's, or they, or it, or whatever it is smirking. And the form takes a step back into the shadows and disappears. Like, you don't know if it turned invisible or what, but it is gone from your eyes.
you all have made some interesting acquaintances.
Technically, that was the first time we ever talked to him. When he first came through with his friend, he didn't say anything to us. I don't remember him saying anything to us, actually.
Interesting.
You remember that he
No.
said something to Adis in a language you didn't understand.
Maybe that's why. Okay.
Interesting. That'll definitely be someone to keep an eye out for. Unsettling.
Very. And weird. He was so weird.
Well, they're from a different place, so maybe it's just that.
I roll my eyes at Nereus and it's like, really, man? Really?
Benefit of a doubt.
I bet they're vampires.
Oh, please, no more of those.
No, I'm telling you, Nereus, ever since that night, I think there's more of them all around us.
I think you're being paranoid.
For good reason. Really, really strong.
Well,
Don't
one
get
of
it.
them
I
was.
died.
I died too. Against a flaming dog.
Oh yeah, that did happen, didn't it?
Yeah, I heard.
Forgot all
Oh.
about that.
Yeah, I know you forgot because it wasn't your pain.
Oh, burn.
It was true.
Well, it's getting late, no?
We should
It
return.
is, yeah.
Oh, I can't get us back tonight. We'll have to bunk down somewhere here.
Okay.
I don't got enough magic for that. We can return in the morning. I need to sleep.
Very well.
Cool.
Let's find a place to spend the night.
Both of you can roll an investigation check, or one of you can roll with advantage. See what kind of inn you discover.
Which one do you want to do?
Let's see which one of us can find a place faster. Let's roll individually.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Listen, Mr. Proficient in investigation.
All right, so 14.
All
What do we
right.
got?
So, Nereus finds you a small little place in an area surrounded by crowded streets and what are obviously brothels or pleasure houses. It's right next to a sprawling ox pen, and you can see there's a workshop of some kind that smells really bad, with the name Homart above the door. It's kind of a modest, half-timbered building with a poorly thatched roof. You don't even see a sign outside of it.
Is that what I find?
That's what
Or is
you
that-
find.
Oh, okay.
Not feeling too confident about a defect, you pull off in another direction. And you pass through a crowd of people who appear to be beggars. They're like begging for change. And you pass them by. And you find a 2-story stone-walled building, which everybody like walking by the inn or coming or heading towards the inn is talking about it being like, they've got the best ale and the best beer in town. Like, they're the place to go. And it is called actually the Howling Steep or Step. The outside is like high, like pointed ceilings. They're like unusually high, given for like a tavern. Like, it's weird. Very like Romanian kind of style architecture, like high pointed roofs, high peaks. But inside, it is fairly well appointed. there are you can see like there's a mezzanine set up that seems to be like where the cheap people sleep, because there's cots along the wall. But like down here in the main area, it's like a full-on popular tavern. There's a central bar, and people like coming to the center bar and like getting drinks and whatever. You can smell various foods that have been prepared. You see a woman of elvish descent behind the bar. There's another elvish woman of some degree of elvish ancestry with red hair and amber eyes. She's wearing like kind of muted clothing, but she's got like a ring on every finger. There's kind of a a human woman, but like very, very beautiful, with like blonde hair and brown eyes. She's got like a walking stick and like very fancy clothes. There's a human male that just has like this narrow, like pointed face with like auburn hair and amber eyes, in a gray cloak. There is another human like up on a little stage that is performing for people. He's kind of got like white hair, but like it's like he's not old. He's just got white hair, like his hair turned white, and it's like chopped at different lengths, so it's not well groomed, but it kind of looks stylish. And he's wearing fantastic looking clothing and a very impressive cloak. And then there's a well dressed woman, also partially elvish in ancestry, but more rotund, I guess. Like she's got pointed ears but a very like chubby cherubic face. She's got a braided blonde hair and deep brown eyes, and her nice clothing is like stained with like travel if you look at the edges of it. Yeah, those are the people you see in this here bar, or at least the ones who stick out to you. There's more like commonplace people, but those are the ones you notice.
Well, I'm starving. I need a little bit of food.
Let's grab a table.
Alright.
Yeah. A serving boy comes by. What can I get for you, sir? Looking only at Nereus.
Can I get, I don't know, what's good here?
The salted duck and leek is really good.
Sure. 2 salted duck and leeks, please.
2? You hungry?
My friend over here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were. I didn't know he was a real. I mean,
It's
not
okay.
not the real.
It's okay.
Ooh.
It's okay. We'll just take 2 salted duck and leeks.
No, it's not okay. Perhaps we should talk to his manager.
Well, there's no reason for that. I'm really sorry. I just didn't know. I've never seen anyone like you before. I really didn't mean any offense. I've seen other things similar to you that are used in construction, but I haven't.
Is this how you treat all your patrons?
Well, no. Like I said, I didn't know that you were a thing. I'm really sorry. I did not mean to offend you.
Perhaps you can comp us a round of drinks.
I don't know if I can do that, but I'm very sorry.
Just we'll take the duck and leek. I'll have a I don't know. What liquors do you have?
We have a spice rum that's pretty good and popular.
I'll take the spiced rum.
Okay.
Defect.
Do a whiskey.
As you wish, sir. Sir? Is sir the correct pronoun? Addressing?
The whiskey now, please.
Okay. He scampers off.
So weird. It usually works when Greg does this. Defect says to Nereus.
That was a bit abrasive, and you're a bit intimidating. It works when Greg does it. You need to work on your approach a little bit.
I've just got it in chat. D Karen.
Yeah. I was about to say defect, deactivate Karen mode.
That's good. I like that.
He comes back in a few minutes with a whiskey and a salted rum or a spiced rum. So that'll be 3 silver for the whiskey and 3 for the rum, and then 9 each for the salted duck. 9 copper, I mean.
Oh. Wow. Math. It's hard. I'll give him 7. No, that won't cover it.
There's 3 silver
I'll just give him a
each.
gold.
So it's
Right, yeah. 3
so
silver each for the
so
drinks, and then-
it's 4 silver each, minus a
Yeah,
copper.
I have 7 silver.
Okay.
You have a silver defect?
Yeah, I have silver. Actually, I can give. Yeah, I can pay for this one.
Okay.
Done.
He takes the money and nods and says, I'll be out with your food as soon as possible.
Thank you.
And he scampers away. A little while goes by, and he brings these duck and leeks to you, which they smell really good.
Now you're gonna eat a duck. Try it.
Yeah. Defect didn't even realize he was eating a duck. I have become death.
I think you did that when you started axing people.
And it's what I'm good at. And he takes a stab at it with his fork and takes a bite into the duck.
Yeah, it tastes interesting to you, Defect. You've never tasted duck before. You haven't eaten
Is it
too
like the
many
fatty
things in
duck,
general.
or is it like a duck? Is it like a good duck, or is it like super fatty?
It is a good duck. Like, it's not like, it hasn't been prepared for 3 days. It's been salted and preserved a little bit, so it's been drying. But it's flavorful, and it's tender. Like, it's good. It's spiced in some way, and the leek are like charred or grilled, and complement the duck very nicely. You know what they say? The best way to enjoy food is by things that go together in nature, and ducks swim in areas where leeks grow. So it seems like a good combo.
Wasn't sure where that was leading. Yeah. So what do you think of your duck, Defect? I know you like ducks, but I figured you know what they taste like.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, honestly, I don't even care about eating.
I know, but I figured it'd be interesting and you'd look less like a sore thumb if you partook in things in here. Although you do stick out like a sore thumb wherever you go.
True. I should probably blend in a little more. So, how about this weather, huh? That's what people talk about, right? They like to talk about the weather.
Sure, it's nice. It's not raining. I mean, Balteria was kind of depressing, but even though
It
I
was
like the
very
rain,
sad.
that rain was not fun. Um, so does all the killing bother you because you've been talking about depressing poetry? Do you not like fighting? Thought you
I
liked,
love to fight. It's what I've been made for.
but you seem to be having some sort of existential crisis, or are you just being traumatic with the poetry?
No, Nereus, I've died. And I thought I would get a glimpse of a heaven that was full of people like me, but I saw nothing.
I mean, I died too. I didn't see anything.
Does it not depress you?
No, maybe it wasn't my time yet. I mean, clearly it wasn't because Spook brought me back, but maybe they only show you that when it's your time. Because then if you saw something nice in death but were brought back, you just go and kill yourself. That doesn't seem very productive. Because then who'd take care of Greg?
You're wise, Nereus. You're wise. I mean,
Am
granted,
I?
Greg is the strongest of us all.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Although Greg is quite skilled in certain things. They have a good versatility in their magic. Definitely a bit envious.
I forgot. Did Nereus tell us what he is? Does he know what he is? I know we discussed out of the game, but
I know a little bit,
He's revealed what he knows at this point in time.
okay.
but I mean, I'm fairly jealous of the diversity that oh Jesus, Greg, Olive, and Spoot have, because they can create things. They can help people. I blow things up.
Things down. But to the right people, it's still helpful.
Oh, for sure. I mean, after all this smack talk, it was really nice to roast Bodo and his cast of friend. Yeah, rude.
That was a really good feeling.
Yeah.
Not so much what happened afterwards.
Well, no. Or the bit by the flaming dog thing. But, yeah, I mean, I before never really seemed to know why the magic that I'm capable of using is, mostly destruction. But it's been of use with you lot.
It has been. Like I said, it depends on who you're with. That's
Right.
going to be helpful.
And you're really good at taking a punch. They just
Repeatedly.
that was a lot to watch.
It was a lot to take.
Oh, I bet. How's
Didn't
your face
realize
feel?
vampires moved so fast. Very, very fast.
Well, yeah. But how's your face feeling today? The hurt?
Less painful. I think all the dents, buff themselves out.
Mm-hmm. And what was that stuff you were spitting up? Was it sap?
I don't even have a word for it, but it's a combination of what we believe to be blood, sap, and some sort of ooze.
It is at this point where that human male with the narrow face and the gray cloak kind of sidles up to your table. He was sitting right at the table next to yours.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me. Did I hear you say something about vampires?
No. We were just talking about a story we heard earlier.
Well, if you know something about vampires, then this is the place to be.
What do you
Why
mean?
is that?
There's a legend about a vampire of the Howling Steppe. This place is called the Howling Steppe. I don't really know what the legend is. The innkeeper over there, Ugin, she doesn't tell anybody. But she claims she knows it. Rumor is, if you can impress her enough, she'll tell you the tale. I've been trying for years. I would love to know. I'm a bit of a aficionado. So, if you know anything about vampires, I'd love to hear it. Have you encountered such creatures?
No, not that I can recall.
Make a deception check.
Oh, I'm gonna re-roll that. A little better.
Oh, well, I swear I heard you talk about it, but
Defect doesn't see the reason why he should not talk about vampires.
This guy was eavesdropping. Fucking rude.
Is that the reason why?
Yeah.
So Defect will say, well, no, we've heard of vampires in Bataria.
Barteria, vampires are there?
Yes. If I were you, I would avoid the place.
Oh,
it rains all the time.
Wow. I've never been. I don't even know where it is.
Better for you. So when you say one needs to impress the bartender there, impress her how?
That she doesn't say. She's only ever claimed that if someone can impress her enough, she'll tell him the story, the prophecy of the vampire of the Howling Steppe.
But it could be anything. It could be arm wrestling, rock throwing, interpretive dancing.
Defect. How about
Sure.
I turn you into a giant monkey again? Right here in the bar.
Was that the guy choking on hearing that? Well, I don't want to cause any property damage. I feel like that would not be impressive.
It might be an impressive amount of property damage.
I would be impressed myself by it. But Scoot has taught me that I should reel back in some of my destructive tendencies. Perhaps a magic show from you, Nereus.
You want me to blow this place up?
Don't you have some other magic that doesn't blow things up?
Do I?
You literally have prestidigitation.
Oh, that's such a basic spell. That's not impressive.
Most
Like,
people
everybody-
can't do magic.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I bet everybody and their mom can
Most
resist.
people are just people.
I cast fireball.
Okay.
Just kidding.
The roof crashes in on you and you all die.
Sure, why not? I go up to the bartender. Barkeep. What's her name?
You've been told it's Ugin.
Excuse me, are you, Ugin?
She looks over at you and nods. Yes, I am.
So, I heard you, know a, story about a vampire, I was informed.
I know many stories, but one prophecy.
I love prophecies. I would love to hear it.
Impress me.
Well, I've received... I have supposedly something, prophesied on my back. A tattoo that nobody can decipher, no matter what magic they use.
Oh. Well, there's no tattoo in the prophecy I know. But perhaps it's interesting. Not all prophecies are connected.
No. I'll just, like, kind of turn around and just, like, lift up the scarf a little bit. And it moves.
So it does. Very interesting.
But, I heard you know a prophecy, or a story, or something. Do they have to do with, like, these kinds of creatures? And I'll, minor illusion Velruga.
Like full vampire mode?
Yeah.
Of course. The prophecy is the vampire of the Howling Steep.
Well, me and my friend killed this one yesterday.
Oh, you killed a vampire, huh?
Yes. Lots of magic and axe swinging.
You killed it with sunlight?
No. I unfortunately was out of magic because we had gotten into a magic fight with a wizard.
You sticked it through the heart in its resting place?
No, see, this would have been good to know. Although he just kind of, like, barged into his courtyard that we were in and started punching the shit out of us.
So you did not actually kill it. You defeated it, perhaps.
Okay, so how do I kill this thing?
The vampires, the Night Stalkers, they hate the sunlight. If you stake them in their resting place, they cannot move. And that's about it that I know.
Okay.
There are rumors that there are other things they dislike and cannot do, but I do not know them.
Does the prophecy have to do with vampires?
Of course. It is the prophecy of the vampire of the Howling Steep.
Okay. So, what exactly... I was told to hear this story, I have to impress you.
She nods
You
and
seem
smiles.
very unimpressible. What would you find impressive?
If I were to tell someone, it would spoil all the fun, wouldn't it?
We slayed a Draco Lich. Is that impressive?
Yeah.
I'll minor illusion the Draco Lich. This thing.
It is impressive, but not impressive enough. Or at least not impressive in the right way.
We had found the history of the Embering Elms.
Fascinating.
My dad is a god.
You are a cute one.
You think I'm joking?
I have heard every line under the sun and moons. But I admit, not many try to claim deific parents.
I mean, I could show you.
Oh,
I
I'm
have
sure you
some
could.
semblance of their power.
Magic does not prove divinity, but that's neither here nor there.
It's not magic.
Then what would you call it?
Part of myself. It comes from magic, but it's not magic. It's not a spell.
All spells are magic, but not all magic is spells.
True. Defect.
Yes.
Come over here. This lady doesn't like my magic.
I
She
lumber
chuckles at
on
that.
over.
Are you coming over?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do.
Fascinating individual you have here.
Yeah, he's certainly a tough cookie. He's the one that had the vampire punching the crap out of him, but still managed to stay standing.
Very admirable.
And impressive, might I add.
No, but we ran into the vampire in Spartaria. There's a warlord, one that rules over the area. Does your prophecy have anything to do with anything called the Ibn?
No.
Oh, thank God. Ibn Shade?
No.
Alright, well, I guess that's good. Well, yeah, you certainly are somebody who's not easily impressed with. Is this prophecy real?
Are any of them?
Depending on the cause and effects.
I suppose all prophecies are fake until they occur.
Fair enough. But, well, this isn't gonna get anywhere. Do you have a room? We need a room.
Of course. Just the one?
Yeah. We're gonna fly home in the morning.
If I may, could I do an insight check on her?
Yeah.
I want to know if a feat of strength would impress her or not.
Yeah, go for it.
17?
17. She is a very inscrutable woman. Hard to read, but you get a sense that she's been around a long time. And a feat of strength, probably not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably seen a lot of guys come in and like, oh, look how many push-ups I can do.
Right,
Look at me show off how strong I am.
I'm just gonna blow up the bar. That's impressive, right?
Wait. What if I recited the poem from back in Bataria?
Yeah.
Would that impress her?
You can try.
Oh man! All right, let's do it. Because I watched the episode because I wasn't there for it, and I know I didn't do well. But maybe it's all about finding the right crowd, you know. So I will now recite my poetry.
All right, go ahead. Make a performance check for reciting your poetry. And you get to add your proficiency bonus because of your feat.
Oh, thank God. So proficiency. So that's a 10.
Okay. So you launch kind of like into it. Just a defect standing there reciting a poem that you have written, this epic odyssey. And you get about a couple minutes in before the human like entertainer like looks over you, the guy who was up on stage is like, hey, what are you doing? Get off my patch. I'm tonight's entertainment. What are you doing? Muscling it on my turf with you little reciting golem thing? Get out of here. Get out of here.
He's not a golem.
Well, whatever he is. He's stepping on my patch. I've been booked for tonight. Do you know who I am? I am Messim, the Mesmerizing.
I'm not very mesmerized.
Well, of
What did
course
he
not.
do?
I'm yelling at your friend. What?
And I
Do you
I
do
found-
magic tricks?
I don't need magic tricks. I am a artiste. I sing songs, and I recite epic poetry and ballads, and I play the instruments. All of them. Well, not all of them, but most of them.
I would definitely advise you to not pick a fight with my friend here.
Well,
My words will put you to shame.
if he's
and
if he's going to try to take my gig, then there's going to be a problem.
He's not trying to take your gig.
You can keep your day job.
Oh, well, why don't you go bench press a horse?
The juvenile in me was gonna say, "I'll bench press your mama," but I don't think the effect would know about such juvenile comebacks. The little like bratty fifth grader in me came out. Well, turning back to the barkeep, was she getting somewhat impressed, or was that not really?
She was watching you, and then Messam comes over, and she's like, "That's true.
That's true. What? I
That
should bench press a horse."
that Messam is the entertainment that's scheduled for tonight." Calm down, Messam.
Yeah.
He was trying to impress me. That's all. To which Messam turns and goes, "Oh, trying to get the prophecy, eh? Well, can't fault you for that, I suppose. Ugin's very mysterious about the whole thing. All right, fine. I'll let it go this time. But don't steal my audience." And he turns around, and his fancy cloak like flickers and shimmers.
Could I continue my poem with whispering?
Yeah.
Did I have to roll again, or
Yeah, you were definitely interrupted. See if you can recover your composure.
Okay, 22. Maybe it's all about delivery. It's the tone.
Yeah.
I whisper the poem to her. I make every word reverberate with like feeling and, so that like, it touches her soul.
Yeah. You do so. And, like, she continues pouring drinks and, like, sliding them along the bar as you whisper to her, but she's paying attention. You finish up. She looks you in the face and she's like, that is a very good poem. You should have people perform it, and you should write it down. Get it published or something. It's very good.
Very impressive, yes?
It is, but not in the right way. Anyways, I have a room for you. You want just the one bed, or you want two?
Defect, do you sleep on a bed?
You've seen me sleep. I don't sleep on the bed.
Okay, just one bed.
As you wish. And she hands over a big iron key with a number 7 on it.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for your patronage.
Of course. Start headed towards the room.
Yep. You head up to the room. It's easy enough to find. Room 7. And the room is fairly large. It's got a big bed with like a straw mattress in it. And wash basin and little there's private privies up on like for the hall for this section of rooms. But yeah, so like a communal, I guess. But you all get a full night's rest in, no problem.
All right. Defect, you ready to head back to Seoul?
Yes, I'm ready.
Right. You spend your spells and 8 hours and fly back to
Well, I was
Seoul.
going to ask, do
Yeah.
you want me to teleport us back, Defect, or would you like us to fly? Did you like flying?
I actually do enjoy flying.
All right, we can fly.
All right. You fly on back. 8 hours, all your slots and points. Pardon me. And you return to the small little fishing village of Seoul. And what you don't see as you fly away from the soon-to-be metropolis of Mandarian is you don't see that as you fly away, there are eyes watching you. The camera pulls back, and we see a tall, slender figure in a black cloak and a half mask covering the lower portion of their face, just watching as you transform Defect. And another smaller figure beside it, crouching very low to the ground, seemingly wrapped in anticipation. But you don't see any of this. You fly off into the day, and the figures melt away into the last shadows of night. And you arrive in Seoul at the end of the day, shortly before sunset, dusk. Reunite with your friends who have had a day of recuperation that was well deserved and well needed. And you have some dinner at the Sunny Tankard, get some rest, and we will pick up there next time as we end tonight's session of Nuuli Forged. Sorry we didn't get Matt, but travel sometimes destroys all plans. Hopefully he's well and everything's okay.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he just fell asleep and did not wake up again. Well, like
In a positive way, not in a
like it's getting rest, not in like a never again to wake up thing.
Lord.
Yeah. Oof.
Crossing into my humor. Back off.
Right. But that was a great little broisode. Broisode?
That's the episode's name now, Broisode.
I'm gonna have to write that down, broisode. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's the broisode. Fantastic. Good job. You learned a couple things, got a couple of infos, and
Yeah.
met a strange individual from your past who had not really come into play at the time. So that's fun.
It is.
Yeah, I was
I'm
wondering when
curious
that was
to see
going
where
to come
that
back
goes.
and bite us in the ass.
Hey, he's just a guy.
It's too good.
As
It's
of
watching us
now,
fly
yeah.
away.
Yeah,
With,
he watched you fly away.
with
You don't know
ill
why.
intent.
No, but it felt menacing.
Yeah, I bet he squinted the hell out of us, didn't he?
You bet he what?
Squinted the
Squinted
hell.
out of us.
Oh, squinted.
Yeah, you just
Yeah, he
Like,
just
hard
like
on squinted at
squinted
us.
you the whole time.
yeah.
It was also bright out, so there's that. But hey, thank you all so much for joining us this week here on Nuuli Forged. I will figure out who we're going to raid. In the meantime, let's say goodbye to our two glorious players. Say goodbye, plug whatever you want to plug, do the things, all of that. Let's start with Nuuli Nereus.
Thanks for watching, guys. I've been up since 4:30 in the morning. Tired. But thank you for watching the Broisode, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Moving on up
See you
to
next week.
moving on up to Defect.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching. I guess I'll do the social media plug.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's where we are on now, YouTube and Twitch. And there's Twitter, I believe, right? Yes. Instagram.
You're nailing this.
Right?
So this
I
is
only
Amber
listen
and
to it
Sarah.
once a week, right? I don't do social media personally, but I know we are on all those platforms. So if you do those, stuff, then that's where you can catch us. I got to work on this. I'm going to write this down next time.
Like, follow, subscribe, please.
Thank you, I've got it, for throwing our socials up in the chat.
If we get 100 subscribers on YouTube, we get the vanity URL, which we would
That's
love.
right.
Yeah. And I'm Jared. I've been your Dungeon Master here. We're going to raid the Legends of Evantris tonight. They're playing some D&D over there. Thank you all for joining us. You can catch us on all socials at Nuuli Forged. If you want to listen to me and Matt talk about D&D, check out our podcast, Mid-Level Adventurers, Mid-LVL Adventures. And otherwise, have a great night. Thank you, I've Got It, for being the best mod in the chat. The only mod in the chat, but the best mod. First follower, first true diehard. We love you, buddy. So let's raid some Legends of Evantris. And let them know that they've been newly rated. Throw those newly emotes up in the chat. You've been newly rated, all that cool stuff. We will be back here next week on Wednesday, 7 p.m. with more of the crew. I think one person can't make it next week. We'll double check. But we will see you then. So thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other. And remember to vote soon. It's important. It's coming up. Don't forget. Make sure you're registered. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.